I grew up on a farm in Oconee County. I went to the Army so I could get a college degree. I spent 4 years in the Army on active duty living in Europe, and I got a 2-year degree from the University of Maryland. Was fortunate enough to win one of 75 scholarships to come back to the University of Georgia, where I finished my accounting degree, and I went on to become a CPA and to have a successful 25 or 26 year career in financial services. The Georgia Way is a wonderful tool that hasn't always been here, that enables students to connect with employers, and it enables students to connect with each other. It gives them great resources to be able to go out and say, help me with my career. It might be a week, it might be 2 weeks, to give student athletes who have interest in your particular business the opportunity to see what it looks like.
Career development is one of the pillars of the Georgia Way. The University of Georgia is the first school in the country to have a mandatory 4-year career development program. From personality assessments as students are considering career paths, to internships and job networking as you progress in your academic career. We often say, once a dog, always a dog.
I've always felt like the best thing we can do to set our players up for success after football is what we do while we have them here. So to have these football players here and to have a curriculum that's mandated and each player gets to go through it, they're much more prepared when they enter the job market, the workforce, and it's really the #1 thing we can do for our players to make sure they have success.
Jacob and Tracy's initial gift at the Georgia Way went to create a full-time academic counselor position to support student athletes who are returning to school to finish their degree. To date, nearly 20 former student athletes have benefited from working with our post-eligibility counselor.
Giving back to the university and helping people who have taken their shot and said, okay, so I took my shot, I got to play for so long, and now I have the rest of my life ahead of me. What do I do? How do I restart? How do I, you often hear people ask the question, how do I start working out? Where do you begin? Well, luckily for us, we don't have to go to square one. We can bring the student athlete back to the university and pick back up on their education and say, now let's finish a degree, let's plot a course, let's set a goal, and let's go get a job and move on with our lives. And being able to be a part of that has been tremendously rewarding for Tracy and I. We have a counselor here who will help you through that process. That gives our student athletes such an edge in having someone to help guide them through after they've been away from the university for a while, to be able to come back and actually finish the degree and move forward with getting a job and getting on with the rest of their life.
Universities are able to offer reimbursement for expenses related to an internship experience. Last year, 55 UGA athletes were able to secure an internship. Thanks to the generosity of UGA donors, we hope to provide more student athletes with real-world work experience in their fields of choice.
I would invite as many people as possible to come and help out with that pursuit, because it's a very worthwhile endeavor for our students, our student athletes, and our companies and our businesses around the state of Georgia and the Southeast and the nation. We hope that those student athletes will be able to look back on their days at the university and say, that was a great building block for us in our lives. We learned a lot, and we now want to give back ourselves to future generations and to student athletes.